Welcome back to Ultimate Alchemy. And just to cover the end of last episode, we started by creating magma crucibles, and then we can convert them, well, basically upgrade them. There was one augment I forgot about, very, very important one for these. I did have two slots, one of which I put this auxiliary reception coil in. It says it increases processing speed. Not sure whether it actually affects magma crucibles, but may as well put it in. However, this one does. Magma Crucible specialization greatly increases lava production speed, but it can only then produce lava. And you can only ever have one of these cards, so you can't double the effect. However, that then means that these can produce lava a whole lot faster into these ender tanks. But I tried a few things here. I tried Endryo conduits, that's why there's all this floor space missing, and just nothing was fast enough to insert power into them. So we're going to have to basically do power a better way. So what do I mean by a better way? Well, we can make these, the Overclocked Generators. They're a simple recipe. They need lapis, however, and we can make lapis with our atomic reconstructor. As I showed you last episode, you can just cycle through until you get lapis. Very, very straightforward. A block of gold and redstone, and we upgrade the furnace generator. So again, you might think, well, we can just use energy conduit and pass the energy through. No, it's still not fast enough. So for each one of these magma crucibles, it's not fast enough until we get the next tier of energy conduit, and we don't have that yet. We can't make it yet. So instead, I'm going to actually do direct power insertion, have a dedicated one for each of these. And we're also going to upgrade them using the upgrade speed things. There we go. So they will then produce power and insert it directly into the magma crucible. Good. They then need to be fed with stuff. So why don't we just, for now, and we could probably do coal later. That might be a better effect. But for now, actually, that's where I want to put the stuff. It's annoying. We're going to use translocators, because they're the fastest way to insert something that we have at the moment. Once you upgrade them with the glowstone version, that is. We need item barrels. And just for aesthetics' sake, I'll put the display on the back. And then we just need the item translocators. There we go. So, one there. Okay, and then we want them all upgraded to glowstone. So they're going to insert stacks at a time. That still won't be fast enough. Watch this. Okay, they're now inserting stacks at a time, but they're not slowing down. In fact, these show a 64 oak wood, but they're basically generating it immediately. They're basically using those instantly. And so these are going to be constantly streaming in new wood, at least at the moment. And on this side, you'll see each of these are consuming 1500 RF per tick. And that's why we can't use the energy conduit. That can only output 640 micro I per tick. Who knows? I'll take that as RF per tick, essentially. And yeah, it just was nowhere near enough to keep these going at full speed. And they are now going at full speed. Even so, they're... well, are they? Because the gauges aren't filling up beyond 135k RF. So I assume they're okay. And they certainly should be fast enough for us. You'll see how fast it is now. That's more than fast enough for me. And I'll be pretty happy. So I'll go and get some more cobblestone just to fill the floor back in. I do want to replace this floor. What do you guys think? Have you I think about what we want to replace this floor with. I don't want to leave it to be cobble forever. And you'll notice I've also got translocators on here. This isn't needed quite as much, but just in case that these speed up and start using it too much, I thought, well, we're already using it below for the we're going to use it below for the overclock generators. We may as well use it for the inputs as well. And then the outputs go straight into the ender tank. And this is mainly because I don't have pressurized fluid conduit. I only have regular fluid conduit, which is this stuff, which respects gravity. And since gravity would mean I had to drop them at the bottom, and I'm putting the generators down there, well, we're using ender tanks. So I also crafted up another ender tank and a couple more things. One is an importer, and make sure you change it onto fluid type. You don't have to do anything else, just change it onto fluid type. And then we're going to craft a fluid storage block like this, and I've set it to whitelist. Make sure you set that. and then you right click on it with a bucket of lava, and it starts to accept lava into the system. So all the lava we're generating over there is coming back out here. Now, at the moment, I'm also then exporting it back here, or at least I would be if I told it to export fluids and configured it. 1 second, let's just grab you. I knew there's a reason I didn't demolish those yet. Fluids, and is this... Yeah. There it goes. So it's exporting lava, and we're going to do the same thing here. Okay, so both of our smelteries should now remain full, and this one is obviously pretty full of liquid dirt. And let's see how much in excess it's actually made. You know, it would have stopped because it wouldn't have been able to produce stuff, but yeah, we've got 1200 dirt. That's more than good enough for me, and a good system. So now I really don't need this whole setup. That can all go, apart from the water, of course. We may want to save the charcoal. I'll leave that where it is. There's a reason for that, but we'll come back to that. And we've got obsidian and everything else. So yeah, I don't need any of this. Now, if like me, especially on a skyblock, you prefer not to run cables everywhere, we can just create an export system for lava. Let me just grab... I need a lava bucket again. Bucket. Just one bucket will actually do. And can I just get that straight out of this? No, guess I can't. That's annoying. I actually want this to do exactly what I'm looking to do now. Let me just grab one out of a smeltery temporarily. There we go. And we want to just get an exporter. And we'll just put the exporter on there, I would have thought. No? You're not having it? Maybe then we'll just move that one further up. Oh my, it's going to take a while because it's an ender tank. Okay, let me stand on something and do it. There we go. Hopefully it won't fly off into the void, but you never know. Okay, so let me just put that there then. And then can we get an exporter underneath? Where's my exporter? There it is. Yep. We tell this that we want fluids, and we want it to be, well, there's no blacklist, whitelist. Export lava, please. And there it goes, and it's in red, red, white. Then we can use red, red, white ender tanks everywhere we want to. Now, if you want to remove these cables, like this, you can just put this, maybe actually, I don't want to necessarily put it there, that's the controller. I don't want it trying to put lava into this, so just here will do fine. Flip that over, and then the same thing with here. And then we can, you know, get rid of this cable. Job done. Okay, and another quick note on how you get your refined storage system to make stuff for you. Now, we already made patterns back here for the crafters. These are just fine as they are. However, we can also do this with machines. We can point a crafter pointing downwards and give it a recipe. So in here, for example, I've got Electrum. Let's get rid of that for a second. Let's do another one that we normally may want. Bronze, we don't have any. So let's craft it up. We need copper, and we want 3 copper and 1 tin. There we go, 3 copper, 1 tin. It's set to processing instead of the normal crafting grid. So processing, 3 copper, 1 tin. And now we're probably going to actually go and need to make some bronze just temporarily. And there it goes. So bronze in the system should now be 4. Yeah, that's right. You can come over here, put 4 in, create a pattern recipe, and we pop it into this crafter. You see it's already got the Electrum one in there. And now it can make bronze. Around the back, and I've started to decorate this, but it's going to take a little while. I'm not quite decided on what I'm going to do with this yet, but this is fine for now. Behind here, oops, throw those away. Yeah, I don't want those. I tried the chisel stone, they look horrible. Yeah, I've got an overclocked generator. It's not got any of the upgrades in. In general, I'm not using the upgrades. I'm the same thing here, because these overclocked generators provide more than enough than a single machine can use, unless it's like a fully upgraded magma crucible, and then that saves grid power. But it is still being fed by its own dedicated source of wood. Not that it needs it because the induction smelter is not going constantly, and etc. etc. So underneath here, we're outputting from the induction smelter straight into an importer. This is the output side on the bottom. The input side's on the top. And then we just got the crafter in here. Now, one note, if you had, let's say you had a recipe in here that required electrum, okay? An electrum is made in an induction smelter. Let's say you had another machine that required electrum here. What you can do with that one is, and I think it's in the crafter, you can get a crafting upgrade. They've made one anyway. And that will then go and request this machine, or rather this crafter, to go make electrum if you need it. So that's just a point for later, but it's a useful one so that you don't ever get starved of resources if you need to make them with a machine. And now we can just, let's just go for bronze. Take the last bronze out of there until it's a craft 5 bronze. And you can just shift click to skip that screen I just did, but I forgot about it. And there we go. It's made bronze, which should now be in the system again. Great. And we're going to want to start thinking about farming. So I've put down an area of dirt, and not that we're going to do this manually. We want a block that I mentioned last episode, but called the farmer. That's from actually additions, I think, and I haven't used this before, so let's have a bit of an experiment. The farmer needs seeds, and you can get those just by, randomly hitting grass that you can bone mill from grass blocks. And Anori crystals. Anori crystals you get from crystal blocks, that is. Anori crystals, which you just get from the atomic reconstructor, from a block of iron or something along those lines. Nothing terrible there. I've already gathered a few of them. So we've then got the farmer block itself. And why don't we just get that placed, hopefully this way. And it's going to need power, of course. So why don't we just put the power at the back. Do I have a furnace generator on me? I do. Okay. And let's see if we can just pull from here. Probably want to place it the other way, just for my own benefit. Not that it actually affects anything at all, as far as I know. There we go. And translocators. You can feed in, so you should be generating power. You are. And then we're feeding seeds on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, we can then grab basically the output. Do I have any seeds left, or do I need to bone meal some more? I want to make sure I have some actual basic seeds, bone meal, just because we need more to make more farmers. So may as well have some anyway. So yep, just right click and then hope, really. I'm going to get some more seeds. 1 second. Okay, there's our first set of seeds and lots of other stuff as well. If I put those in here, yep, it's going to till the ground itself, and is then going to start making seeds. Now, we don't really have an accelerant here at the moment. What options do we have? We could obviously try and use the wand acceleration. That'll be one option. We'd have to make them pointing down, mind you, but other than that, let me just grab the dirt for a second. And let's see if this works. Is it going to be pointing down to that block? I think it's going to have to be on this one, isn't it? So let's just put you there for a second. Okay, let's fly back. We want a mechanical user and a one of acceleration. And let's see if this actually helps. And we'll put the rest of these seeds back. We don't actually need them in our inventory. We're going to be making a sugarcane farm as well, because we need the sugar from that for other things. And we're also going to need hemp, so we may as well get that as well. So what was I going to say? Mechanical user. I've already got one. And a wand of acceleration. Got one of those as well. Let's head back over here. We may well use the upgrades, but I just want to see if this works first of all. I think it does, but best to be sure. Let's just head down here for a second. There we go. And use item on block. Upper left slot only. That looks like it's working just fine. Good. And that is one of those things that I may want to think about upgrades. Now we could fill the entire field in there, but my main concern at the start is just that we are able to accelerate the start of this. We're not going to want to do that long term. I don't want to fill out the fields like that. I guess I could put them underneath, but I'm not sure if it would work underneath. I think it needs to be on top. In any case, that is growing, but it's not being harvested by the farmer simply because we got this on top. So let's just accelerate this a little bit. And now we're getting lots of seeds. Okay, and we'll just dump all of those into the farmer, and it'll start filling out our farm. And that's nicely working now. Now, we don't exactly have the need for, well, we don't have the need for seeds beyond that point, but we do have a need for wheat. Wheat happens to be a great way to get compost without all that other setup. So if we look at the compost recipes, you can see we just surround any kind of dirt with wheat and you get compost really easily. So I can take down that other compost setup right there, and we'll sort that one out. So we've got that going, and it's going fine. I've removed the mechanical user now. Just put some glowstone around so everything continues to grow at nighttime. And then over here, we're going to do the same setup. I'm just going to grab an ender chest, I want to say. Yeah, let's grab an ender chest. Let's grab here, ender chest. And then we're going to do the same thing, but with a sugarcane farm and potentially a cactus farm as well, but just a sugarcane farm to start. And the good thing about item translocators is they do have filters built in. So for example, on this one, if I just go and right click with empty hand, I've just filtered wheat. So it's not going to pull anything else in case we do put other things in here in future without my say so. In here, we're going to say sugarcanes only, although hopefully the main problem is it's going to actually be using sugarcane and getting sugarcane back. So I don't know whether it's going to drag everything into the system or not, but let's activate it anyway. And then we're going to need a little bit of water, aren't we? Because we can't start this up without water. So fill that from buckets. And I've gone with a fairly typical pattern here that seems to work, or at least that's as far as I can get it. And if we just put a few more in, let's see if it just finds the valid spots if we insert the sugarcane. Yep, there it goes. It's adding them to any valid spots, and I'll fill in the rest with water. And yes, it is going to put it back into our system, but it's not much of a problem because sugarcanes never get broken. It's only the top layers that get broken off, so we can just go and place it back into this input slot, or temporarily just turn this off until it fills out the field, presumably. And once that's filled out, then we can just turn it back on and we don't need to worry about it anymore. There it goes. Now, I wanted to speed this farmer up, so I think I may be able to... Well, do we need to speed the farmer up? Because the plants themselves aren't growing that quickly at the moment. But this would certainly harvest them faster. No, I think I'll just leave it. There we go. So I was just making this plant grow a little bit faster just so I could test things out. But we're fine now. We just move them back over here and it'll plant them out on the field. Unfortunately, Actual Edition's farmer doesn't support flax. Doesn't support hemp. So we can't grow hemp seed from industrial engineering, which is one recipe for string, but we can use the flax seeds. Flax seeds you're going to get from grass when you bone meal it, and you can place them into here. It will then obviously farm out flax, and as soon as they grow, it'll harvest those and make string, and string will go back into your system. Over here, I'm not feeding the sugarcane back in until it actually fills up the farm. It won't be very long now, but yeah, so we've got flax, we've got wheat and seeds, of course, and we've got sugarcane, but sugarcane doesn't go back to the system just yet. But with string, we can also set up some other stuff because I want to be able to feed stuff into my system. I like to use ender pouches, and ender pouches need leather, and leather is a bit tricky. We have nothing that we can use just yet. Rabbit, no. We don't have a drying basin or rotten flesh at all, and we don't have netherwort yet. Netherwort we can get from mushrooms. Mushrooms we need mycelium, and mycelium we can get from a moistener. Moistener? I guess we could see if we can craft that. Moistener. some wooden gears. Just so I've got at least one mycelium to start with. I don't need to worry about too much about it. And we'll come back to that anyway, but that's one thing for zombie flesh. Leather, the other way of doing it that I know of is fish or drying anything really, any meat. We don't have any other, animals don't spawn, but we can actually get fish. I think it's from not Aqueous, but Aqua something. It's thermal expand aquatic entangler. It's quite slow, but we need a fishing rod, and fishing rod needed the string, so we couldn't make it until now. This only works if you surround it with water, so we're going to need some water in a bucket, and we're going to need to have a fairly big container for it. The more water, the better. Full credit to, I think it's Willex who did this one on his video that I saw. But yeah, it's quite a useful little block to make. And yeah, so let's get a few other bits and pieces. We're not going to necessarily need the overclocked. This is a very slow thing anyway. So do we have any spare furnace generators? We do. And we got, for that, we just need an item translocator. Yeah, and can we just make a stack of those? We can. They're just so useful. And then we need a container somewhere. So where would I want to put this? Well, we've already got water down below us for this setup. So we may well put it even further below that. And so if I just bring this down, 3, 4, 5, something like that. And then I'm going to bring a platform across. And this is going to be 5x5 internal? It looks like it, doesn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same thing here. And I think I'm probably going to want some kind of glass. If it's going to be an aquarium, well, it may as well have some glass going for it. So why don't we just fill this in? Whoops. That'll need to be removed. There we go. And just because we need this to be lit up a little bit, or at least I want it to be lit up, I'm just going to put some glowstone in the corners. There we go. Now the rest of the glass we can actually make using our smeltery, but we already have glass. I wonder if there's like a smooth glass. Do we have that? Smooth glass. Let's look at the glass types. Chisel? Does that just come from regular glass? It does. And I wonder if that is then connected textures. That's the main thing I'm looking for. So let's get a few bits of that chisel. And which one do we actually want? Well, let's try this grey bordered one and hope it's connected textures. If it is, that'll be good. If not, then I'll have to replace that another time. Do you have connected textures? You do. Good. Okay, I like that very much. In fact, oh, well, it's still got some sort of... I'd sort of prefer it to be completely clear, but it's okay that it's not. There we go. So, yeah, that's okay. And we can... Do I have my builder's wand? I don't have it on me. I'll go and fill in the rest of this thing. What I'm going to want to do is fill it with water. And then we'll place our aquatic entangler in there. We're going to need an ender chest and get other bits and pieces sorted. 1 second. And there we go, surrounded entirely by glass and surrounded entirely as much as possible by water. We've got a 5x5x5 internal there, so what's that? 5x5 25 times 5, obviously 125. Minus 2 in the middle, so 123. Now that, I don't know if you can see it animating, but it doesn't need power at all, it seems. And it's got an ender chest on the top, and it's auto outputting into the ender chest. So we should get fish automatically in the system, and we should then be able to use those. I'm not sure if it's actually caught any yet, because it's quite slow. It's already caught one. Good. And the fish we can then output, change it to cooked fish, but we could put it on a drying rack to get fish jerky, fair enough. What else can we actually make with it? Let's have a look, excuse me. We can turn it into raw salmon. cook fish. Culinary generator, but from the cooked fish we can make the culinary generator, but from the cooked fish we can also make leather, and that can go into the same drying rack system over here that we got the soggy ender pearls. So we could replace that with an exporter into this chest coming from there to export all cooked fish, and I think I will actually do that. Let's just grab an exporter. We need cooked fish, of course, first, so we're going to need to export the raw fish into a furnace that will then cook the fish. So, do I want it here then? Because if we could just export it at the back of the furnace, and the furnace could then be fed by wood. Yeah, that would actually work. Let's just grab the components. There we go, very simple setup. I've created, left this chest as a buffer zone, and we're just going to translocate stuff in. And then this is fed from the back by oak woods, again, translocators. And then we just have this exporter here we can configure to send raw fish, which is then going to go through here. And that's going to go into here. It's not going to be terribly fast, but we're not catching fish very fast. That should then go through here, turn into cooked fish on the drying rack, which should turn into leather and back into our system. Automatic and very, very nice. Okay, next step is I want an ender pouch. That needs blaze powder. Blaze powder we can get from magma cream. You can get it from blaze rods, but we can't really generate blaze rods. Magma cream, on the other hand, is not quite as easy to get. We need it to be pulverized from magma block. Magma blocks you can get straight out of a mechanical drying basin. I think there may be a way with a smeltery as well, but I can never remember it. So mechanical drying basin, on the other hand, needs energy batteries, and energy batteries needs blocks of crystallized resin, crystallized mineral even. That, well, we don't have any mineral just to get started with, but we can make the block form. Yeah, we can make the chunk form from the block form, and the block form we can make with mineral mineral resin, sorry. Yep, and we can just cast it. Mineral resin we can alloy from redstone slurry and water. So I put in 60 redstone. You'll see it's in there. That's not blood, it's redstone. And if we have a look here, if I... yep, there we go. 6 blocks or 6 buckets. So we need to alloy that with water. So I'm not directly going to put the water in just by flipping this around and putting it on a drain block. I'm instead going to feed in exactly 6 buckets. So the whole thing will not get filled with water, which would happen otherwise. All right, and there we got our mineral. It's alloying, but let's speed that up. That should now be done, I would have thought. Let's have a look. Well, it's getting faster, but it's not quite done. Nearly done. There we go. Okay, we've got 12 blocks of it. That's good enough for now. Close that off, and we just feed it into our system as before. It won't go anywhere at the moment because it needs to go in here, because we need to lock this off. I guess actually we could put them in there, and we'll get them directly. I need to get my keys to get them back out of here again. Let me get my key and unlock that and remove it. Key. We should have 12 blocks in there already. It's pretty fast. They are smeltery once it gets going, but I just want to make sure they're in the right place so we don't have to worry about it in the future. Okay, you're not going to let me remove you? Ah, it's just delayed a little bit. Fine, no problem. And everything else is locked, so that will work fine. That should mean we now have a mineral in our system. Or mineral blocks, yep. Yep, we can make the energy batteries. So let's go back through what we need. We need a mechanical drying basin. That's going to need a couple of these, which we can now make. 1, 2. Needs the drying basin itself, which is just some ink sacks, and we can make ink sacks by just getting, let's just get 4 stacks of wood, and we'll put that through our fast furnace. Get that to make into charcoal into ink sacks, etc. Let's just put them in here. That'll take a little while, but we've already got a couple of stacks. Well, let's actually just put some more wood in there. And let's actually just make enough to get going. So black pigment, we get ink sacs, and that should be enough for us to make things. So drying basin, mechanical drying basin, and then I think we can get essentially. We should be able to get magma blocks out of that if we feed it enough lava. Now that just means giving an ender tank. And do I have any of the lava ender tanks? I don't. So let's just get some rose red. And a container of something. Containers. It's going to be solid coming out, so we can just put it into an ender chest that goes into our system. So will it do here? I guess we could put this on the back. 1 second. Okay, the mechanical drying basin is sided, so we don't want to try and pull stuff out of its side. It won't work. So in other than that, we normally would put the lava on top, but we don't want to do that. It would go into this tank. This is exactly what happened to me. We actually want it in this tank, which is what we do from the side. So if we do that, provide it with some RF at the back and feed back in here, it will essentially continually take lava, and we can shut that off anytime we like. And this should naturally decrease. Now let's just see, make sure it's not filling up. There we go. Yep. And we should have some magma blocks around now to work with. So magma, 31 of them. And we then want a pulverizer. And do I still have I don't think I have them in the crafting grids anymore. Let's just make another pulverizer. And there we go. Probably want the upgrades as well, but we're going to look to put that one here for an on-demand pulverizer. I don't suspect I'll need it too much. Are we just going to be able to share power? Well, if it's not being used too much, then I can just put an energy conduit in. We might want more later, but it's fine for now. Let's grab you. Feed this around the back. And our overclock generator should do the job. Then we're just going to want to pulverize that down. So let's grab the magma blocks. Let's just grab 32 of them. Put them in the pulverizer. That should make magma cream, which we can then use in something else. I've forgotten what it is, but we can then use it to make blaze powder. Where are you? Centrifugal separator, and that looks like something we can make as well. So let's make one of you. We're going to want Constantin, it looks like. Okay. What are you made with? Probably going to require induction smelter. What recipes have we got in there? Copper and nickel, which we can already do. Does it need pulverize specifically, or just copper and nickel on its own? That'd be nice. Copper. Let's just get 32 and nickel, which we have automated, so that's fine as well. Now let's put them in induction smelter and let's see if that works. Yep, looks like it's working just fine. That should feed back into the system, so we can then create this. And we will then put that in here as well. I want to make sure I just reset everything here. Technically I could feed it straight left here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to make sure that goes around and then feed in some energy around the back. Where's my conduit? There it is. I'm going to have to rearrange this at some point, but it's fine for now. And if we get that magma cream out and put them in here, that should start making blaze powder. There we go, blaze powder and slime balls, free of charge. And that will then get me an ender pouch, I think, ender pouch. There we go. Yep, there's my first one, and that means if I want to put anything in the system, or I can see how the input's going, I can just dump them in here, and that'll all get put back into our refined storage. There is wireless terminals we can get as well, but the end effect is just a nice, convenient little thing to have around to dump stuff back in your system to make inventory space more than anything else. But, of course, we are going to need blaze powder for other purposes, and so we're going to need leather as well. But so it's useful that we've automated all of that. And again, if we want more blaze powder, well, more magma, we just fill this back up again. And it'll get us more magma blocks. Good. And that takes us to the end of today's episode. We've got a lot done again. I'm quite happy with the progress so far. Automating leather, automating essentially magma cream and slime balls and blaze powder. We've also got string, we've got wheat, we've got sugarcane. Ooh, you should actually have enough now to fill this out. That should start, I would have thought. Unless some of these are... No, there it goes. It's just sweeping through these. Yeah, that should do fine. Yeah, so we've got infinite sugarcane. That means we can get sugar. And that sugar was one of the prerequisites for other recipes that I needed. What was it now that was in here? Stack upgrades, certainly. That would really help with the importers. And we need 5 sugar for that. So, and the speed upgrades, which is more sugar. So yeah, the fact we have a sugarcane farm now will greatly help us upgrade our refined storage, importing and exporting and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, pretty happy. We've got wheat as well. That'll make basically enough compost whenever we want it. I've taken down the compost setup here, and this will probably convert over into refined storage, along with a lot of the other things that we've been crafting manually. We'll get refined storage to do it for us, which will reduce the amount of space we need to machines like this, where we've got something that makes different types of items. Yeah, quite happy. I'm pretty pleased with today's episode. If you've liked it, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see how it goes from here on out. Quite liking this pack so far. It's apparently in early days for it, but no, I'm quite happy with the challenge for it. Lots of neat stuff to get done. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.